When we do get a chance to go on date nights, what I find is really interesting is what we do with our time. Because we don't go out there and like drink hard and party hard and stay up late. And like a lot of times we end up we go to the beach. Yeah. We take a long walk. We don't even go out to eat really. We go to the grocery store and pick up just
a simple, clean meal that we know is going to have us feeling good.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we get some kombucha, and then we watch a grown-up movie.
Yeah. Uninterrupted. And I think
it's glorious, and it's a glorious date.
It's glorious, and it's connecting. And I think it's, fair to admit to everybody that it hasn't always looked like that.
No, that's true.
In the beginning, when we first started having our date nights.
I hated date nights. Oh my gosh, when we first started.
Right, because what happened to us was we waited so long. And, I was reading this statistic recently that, half of marriages that end within the first 7 years. And
that makes total sense.
And it makes total sense. I mean, even looking back at our own marriage, I remember that's about the time when it started to get rough. We had the 2 kids, right? You were starting the business. Yep. I mean, all of our
career pressure is kind of peaking. And then you've been married long enough to realize that you don't get your way anymore. Yeah. And you're right. So when you combine children with career, with the loss of your own independent decision making, and you put them all together at the same time. Yeah. Not to mention the fact that 7 years of marriage, like the financial pressure starts to build up too. Yeah. Because there's probably property that's being owned, or there's the idea of buying property, or who knows what, right? But there's so much pressure in that short period of time that it's such a transformation from what it was 7 years before. Right. It's a hard place.
Right. And they talk about, that just like you're saying, that there's so much transition happening during that period. And oftentimes the killers of marriage early on are contempt and criticism, right? So when in our case,
we should define those too, because I remember when we learned this concept of the difference between contempt and criticism, it was kind of mind shattering to me.
Yeah. So remind me what you.
So I remember
you were blown away by it.
Yes, I was blown away by it, because contempt is essentially the silent accusation of someone else's behavior. That's contempt.
Yeah, I'm better than you. You're not doing good enough.
Right. Yeah. And then criticism is just, I don't like what you're doing, or I would prefer something different. Yeah. So they're not the same thing. And because they're not the same thing, the way that we behave towards our partner when we're feeling one or the other is also different. Right. And it's not just, doesn't just relate to our partner. This relates to every human being we meet. Right. Our business partners, our clients, our customers, our family, our own parents. Contempt and criticism are not the same thing. And they're for sure not the same thing as approval or permission or enjoyment. Those are all the positives, right? But what we're talking about here, like you said, inside those first 7 years, the roots of contentment or of contempt and criticism really start to take shape.
Yeah, because as your responsibilities start to shift, you have children, maybe you're changing jobs. I mean, for us, that's what happened. We had a child, we left the CIA, which it wasn't something I had ever expected to do, honestly. And
I never expected to do it either.
And then we, started in the private sector, working from home, homeschooling, having another child. You were working full time, going to school full time to get your MBA, and starting a business. I had just had a second baby. I had a toddler at home. I mean, so it makes sense that during that time, and then we weren't taking time out for ourselves, right? To nurture our relationship, which I think is funny because human intelligence is all about relationships. Maybe intelligence in general, right? There's all kinds, Mazant and
SIGINT and IMINT. And no relationship needed.
No relationship needed.
Just look at a picture.
But the core of intelligence is human intelligence. And human intelligence is a relationship business.
And people don't realize that.
Right.
People don't realize that it's not about outsmarting someone else. It's about building a relationship that's an asymmetrical relationship. If you like this short clip, make sure you click here to see the next clip or here to see the full podcast episode.
Freedom! So fresh, so new. Freedom!